What is going on, everyone? Kevin here for Channel Manaleak, running another RTR block 8-4, and I think we're just going to rock the Tesa here. At 4 toughness, she's pretty tough, and if she sticks around, she's just a beat stick. Basically, if you don't get rid of her, she wins you the game. So there's removal for that for sure, but we're going to take the Tesa. Other possible choices here. Nothing too great. Alive Well's pretty good. The Cyclops is okay. It's actually a pretty weak pack overall, so we'll take the black and white card. We're not passing any other good Orzhov cards here, so the plan is to just cut that off and maybe be a straight Orzhov deck if possible. A lot of times that is just not possible, but if we don't let any Orzhov cards go to our left, then they should come back to the right unless the people to our left are just stubborn and decide to go Orzhov anyway. But that's what we're going to do, take the Tesa. Okay, some decent card choices here. Breaking and Entering is okay, I suppose. Rural Warchant is actually pretty sick. I had that card played against me, and my opponent won a game with this card that he had just absolutely no business winning. This card straight out won the game. But I think we're probably going to try to stick with our stubborn Tesa plan. I'm not sure. Maybe there was a mythic in this pack, possibly. Does that sound right? I think that might be right. It's possible the person to our right just took a common also. I don't think you take a common over probably a Gruul Warchant, which is a pretty good card, but it's possible. I also like Thrashing Moss Dog a lot, and Beetleform Mage is also very good. But this will pick the people behind us go Gruul and Simic, which means we should get rewarded by the Orzhov. I think I'm going to take Far and Away. It's the best card. If that's not a good reason to take something, I don't know what is. It's the best card. I think Renounce the Guilds is actually fine. You can obviously hurt yourself with it, but you can play it when it's good for you. So even though it's not the best removal, I think it's fine. The other card choices in this pack for me, in my opinion, would be Maze Glider is fine if we end up Esper. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to play blue for the far part, although it obviously makes it a lot stronger. The Mastiff is fine. But yeah, I'm just going to snap up the Renounce the Guilds. Alright, well, we're not seeing really any Orzhov cards, so person to our right might be stubbornly taking Orzhov cards, and then we'll stubbornly take them back going the other way probably. I'm not really into Melek, either way, not into him. Krasis is probably the best card in this pack. The Guildgate's probably fine, in case we want to play black, white, splash red or something like that. But I think really it's between the Steeple Rock, the Pilfered Plans, and this Key Rune. I'd say actually Abomination's fine too. I think I'm just going to take the Guildgate here. Alright, the Maw of the Obzadot I hear is pretty good. I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, but it is an Orzhov card, and we're trying to cut off the Orzhov cards. So I think that's the one I'm going to take. We don't really have gates. I don't love this guy anyway. I would take the Deputy of Acquittals probably, if not for the Maw, but we're going to snap up the Maw. There's a few choices here. I think the Gorgon's actually pretty good. I haven't had a chance to play with her yet, but 2/5 Death Touch and the ability to ping stuff. I mean, you're probably not going to have a ton of +1/+1 counters depending on what deck you're playing, and 2/5 Death Touch is probably pretty good, but probably not what we're going to take here. I think I'm probably just going to take the Mastiff, try to keep my curve a little low. I already have a 5-drop and a 7-drop. The Mastiff is pretty okay. If there was a Guildgate, I'd consider taking it if it was something that might be playable. The Deputy of Acquittals is probably the best card, but I don't know if I'm even going to play blue yet, and I kind of want to just cut off black and white at the moment. So there's not really anything in this pack. So I guess I'll probably just take the Clue Stone here in case I want to splash for the blue for far, or really, I mean, it's not just for that, it's for anything. The Down and Dirty, the Notion Thief is okay. A 3/1 flash where you can sometimes snake a card from someone. I've had someone grab a card from me before in limited, but I think the Clue Stone is fine. That's what I'm going to take. Speak of take, I think Give and Take's actually a pretty good card. It's more for the green, and we're not in either of those colors, so there's no reason for me to take that card, so I'm not going to. I think a second Azorius Clue Stone is probably what I'm going to take right here. I don't like Maze Sentinel. I don't want to play blue, and if I do, I don't want to be playing that card, probably. I'll take the Maze Abomination. I think it's fine. The Guildgate I will take. I'd much rather play the Guildgate than one of the other things. The Clue Stone's fine too, but I actually think the Guildgate's better enough that that's what I'm going to take. I don't really want to play any of these cards. For signaling, I guess I could take a Restore the Peace, or I could take the Clue Stone in case we do play some red, and I think that's better. I think that's better. So we have, I don't think I want to play 2 Maze Abominations, but I probably don't need all of these Clue Stones. I'm not going to play 19 Clue Stones, so the 15 Clue Stone deck, not quite as good as the 15 Guildgate deck. I think all those cards are pretty bad. I still think all those cards are bad, but I'll take the Clue since it's kind of in blue. I mean, it's it's definitely in blue. It's not kind of in blue. It is blue, but I would say now, hello. You can't see it, but I'm waving my arms, doing the happy dance about Obsidian. Not only is it worth 10 or 11 tickets, but it's just a sick card. So thank you, Magic, for letting me open something not only worth money, but in my colors. I would take it even if it weren't in my colors. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's an 8-4 draft. It's not like the Pro Tour, which I've never played on, but it's not like I'm trying to win at all costs. So I would take this card even if it weren't in my colors, but it totally is. Other good cards, I like Ground Assault's really good. I like Zertal a lot. The Syndic's really good, but it's not going to come back to us. Nothing's probably going to come back to us out of this pack. Maybe a Zerichi Tiger, maybe a Corpse Blockade. I would play one of those, but it's going to be Obsidian. Alright, here I'm just going to take the Screecher. I'm happy to pick up another Orzhov Extort type creature. I think Edict would be fine. The Guildgate would be pretty good. The Prism would be good. But I'm trying to be as much black-white as possible. If I don't have to splash to go into a third color, I probably won't. Although I would consider playing the Azorius Guildgate for Far and Away if we go that way. Right now, we're pretty light on playables, other than Clue Stones. So I'd say what we're at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're at 8. I guess it's not that bad. I'm going to take the Screecher. If not the Screecher, I'd probably take the Edict, even over a Mind Eye Drake, or one of these cards for fixing, but the Screecher is what we're looking for. Okay. Not a lot here. I think Breeding Pool's what, worth like 3 or something? 2-ish? 2.5, probably. Between 2.5 and 3. Selling for 4. So, I mean, that's not terrible. It's not a terrible time to rare draft, but I think the 1-drop Extort is probably good enough. At this point, you're taking this 1-drop Extort just for the Extort, really. Etherize would be fine, too, as in my blue, like, if I do splash blue to go full-on Esper, but at this point, I'm kind of light on creatures. I think the 1/1 Extort, it'll definitely make the deck. It's that or rare draft. A card in 2 colors we're not playing for like 3 tickets. I'm just going to take the Parasite. Man, there's a lot of Zertos wine going around. So the guy we were passing to when we said that they should be going into Gruel because of all the green, and the War Chant that we passed clearly did not do so. Because these are all green cards. I would definitely snap up the breeding pool out of this pack, but it's not in the cards. Ha, pun for us. I mean, I could pick up like a Clinging Enemies, and I could play that. I don't plan on playing any of these other cards, except for maybe the Gargoyle, so I'll pick up the Gargoyle. Not exactly what I'm trying to do, but the best laid plans of mice and men. So, clearly no one to our left is green. So, they decided to do what we did and be stubborn into whatever they picked. I think we're still going to end up with a deck. We have some high power cards between Obzadot and Teysa, so that's not the end of the world. Here, I mean, it's definitely between the Millennial Gargoyle and the Beckon Apparition. I'm not trying to do Way of the Thief, and I'm really not even in blue yet. I mean, at this point I could go into a third color. I mean, red would be fine as well, but I don't think any of these cards are worth jumping into. So it's another one of these or a Beckon Apparition. I'll just take another Millennial Gargoyle. It's not good, but it's okay. Again, all the red and green, even blue, so really the only cards we're not seeing are black and white. Let's see, we got one white creature, 2, 3, we got 4 white creatures. So at that point, the Court Street's not going to be great for us. I could take the Hands of Binding and plan on splashing Esper, or I could take splashing blue for Esper. It's between the Hands of Binding. I mean, I could play red too, like I said, but I'm not going to splash red for one of those creatures. So it's between the Hands of Binding and the Court Street Denizen, and alright, I don't have a lot of white creatures, so I'll take the Hands of Binding. Okay, this is actually a pretty nice pack for us. The Edict, the Enforcer, or the Guards would all be good for me. I think I'm going to take the Guards. I have actually no 3-drops, other than Cluestones, which I'm probably not going to try to run a lot of. I do need creatures that can attack, although, I mean, I guess these ones are all pretty good, and I can run I can run 18 lands and Cluestones to try to just stick around, but if my plan is to try to stick around, the Basilica Guards will help with that a lot. The Edict would be really good as well, but I want to keep my Extort engine going, and I think it's better than the Syndicate Enforcer. Plus, there's a Syndicate Enforcer. So I'm happy to pick up the Syndicate Enforcer here. I wouldn't mind playing a Shadow Slice if I had more creatures, but okay, this is that first pack where I said the Zerichi Tiger might come back, and I'll play a Zerichi Tiger. It's okay in this deck. Here I would actually play a Mind Eye Drake too if we end up splashing blue. I think this is a little bit tougher of a choice because I think Leyline Phantom's actually not bad. Even our curve is so high though, and Obzadot's double black, double white, so I don't really want to get too invested into blue. So I think even though I'm kind of light on creatures, I'm going to take the Aerial Maneuver. I don't have really any removal, which is kind of crappy for a black-white deck. You'd kind of like to have some black removal. Maybe we'll get past some stab wounds and things, hopefully. I'm not going to play any of that stuff, so just yank that on out of there. Illness in the Ranks is probably not going to make my deck. Hopefully this doesn't either. I mean, it's probably not going to need it. But, yeah. Well, anyway, while I'm waiting for the next pack, I will tell you about my Dragon's Maze Championship event that I had previously mentioned in my last draft. I did not record it, so apologies if you wanted to see 10 rounds of Dragon's Maze Championship goodness, but I did not record it. But I did go 8-2, which was not good enough for top 8. It was good enough for 25th, which is fine by me. 25th isn't terrible, and I won a little bit of packs for it, so things could have been worse. Here, I think, is a little bit tough. Could play the Elocutors. They're very political. They have filibusters. It'll be double white, although we may end up splashing blue in this deck anyway. So that's probably what I'm going to take. I think the Sky Knight is probably better card. It is more of a blue requirement, because you know, you don't, I mean, it's fine as a 6-drop, but it's much better as a 3-drop. I think it's definitely between one of these cards, and I'm not sure. Bluster Squall's fine too, but it's not what I want right now. It's definitely between one of these, and honestly I'm not sure which one's better. We already have a lot of 5-drops, so maybe the Sky Knight. I'm going to take the Sky Knight. I think the Allocators are good, but I already have so many 5-drops, and I'm probably going to play the Mind Eye Drake, and even if I don't, I still have a pretty high curve, even if I don't play these or only play one of them. I was saying hopefully we get past a Stab Wound, and there's a Stab Wound, so I'm going to take it over Epic Experiment, which I think is worth, what, like 2 or something like that? Let's see, my quick typing skills. Like, people are buying for 1, so it's probably selling for between 1.5 and 2. It's fine, I'm not taking it. I'm taking the Stab Wound. If I were going to steal something for value, it would have been a Breeding Pool over a Throw Parasite, which is, you know, it's a question. I think it's actually pretty good in my deck. Yeah, there's not really any other choices for us other than maybe splashing a Rune Wing or something, so it's a pretty easy pick on a Stab Wound. Here, I think the Slum Reaper is pretty clearly the choice. It's that, or the Guild Mage is a better card, but I don't plan on playing that many blue cards. And at this point, I've got 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4. And this guy, not only do you need blue to play him, but then you have to have blue available to do stuff with him. And I really don't want to get screwed on my Obzidot. I really want to play it. I don't have any amazing creatures to sacrifice to a Slum Reaper, but we'll try to be careful with it. Okay, so here I have a choice. It's probably going to be the Dead Reveler, almost certainly. The Volatile Rig's fine. But I mean, I like Dramatic Rescue a lot. Even Security Blockade would be fine here. So there's 3 cards for us here. I like Dramatic Rescue, like I said, a lot, but I want my creatures. Right now I'm pretty low on 3-drops as it comes to creatures. This is a little more aggressive than my deck is. My deck is actually kind of pretty non-aggressive, and playing this guy as a 2/3 is not amazing. I'm almost talking myself out of Dead Reveler here. Maybe the Dramatic Rescue is just a better card. I can play an Azorius Guildgate and 2 Azorius Cluestones. I do want lots of mana, and I do want ramp to get up to these guys. You know what? I think I am going to take the Dramatic Rescue. I don't have a ton of removal in this deck, and that's really it. I don't have a ton of removal in this deck, period. So, I also don't have a ton of multicolored, so the Maze Abominations aren't going to be very good, so I'm probably not going to play them. And if I play them, I'm probably only going to play one of them and not both of them. So, you know, this isn't going amazing other than the fact that we have a couple just bombs, which can't really complain about. Here I think I'm just going to take the Grim Roustabout. It's a decent blocker. The Rixmati Guildmage, again, a good Guildmage is going around. The good news is clearly there's not a lot of people in black, but we haven't really seen, other than being past 1 Stab Wound, a lot of strong black cards. You know, that's a pretty late Frostburn Weird too. Here I think I'm going to take the 2-drop in the Keening Apparition. We can try to be a little more aggressive. It works good with Extort. I think the Skywatch is obviously a better card, but our curve's already so high. I don't really want to play a 6-drop there if I don't have to. And there's another Skywatch. I still don't think the Skywatch is the pick. I think Avenging Arrow, since I'm low on removal, is just what I want to do. Okay, so now my choices are a Tower Drake, a Rune Wing. I'm definitely not playing a cancel. I'm not trying to do any double blue here. Or a Terrace Worm, which again, I don't really want another 7-drop, even though the Scavenge is okay. So I think I do have quite a few 4-drops, but and I guess Tower Drake does work with my plane, so I'm going to take the Tower Drake. here I'll just take the Selesnya Sentry. It may or may not make the deck, and it would just be a 3/2 in this deck. I kind of want to pull the Pursuit of Flight. I don't really have any enchantments for the Ethereal Armor. So it's either this, pull a Pursuit of Flight, yank a Soul Tithe, or play a Codex Shredder. Alright, sorry about that, lost a few picks. I ended up pulling a Pursuit of Flight, picking a Sundering Growth, and then the Security Blockade Wheel. So that's what I took. And we're going to be an Esper deck, but we're hoping to not play a lot of blue cards. Let's see what we can do. I mean, I don't mind not playing Tower Drake or Hands of Binding if we have enough good cards without it, but I don't think we do. So I'm going to put it together like I always do, then we'll come back and talk about it. Alright, I'm back. This is the way I decided to build it. I almost decided not to play blue at all, which I would have ran Millennial Gargoyles and a Maze Abomination. And cut Clue Stones and the couple blue cards, but I decided to go ahead and play blue because I think Dramatic Rescue makes my Far and Away so much better, and then the Sky Knight I think are all strong enough it's worth playing those few cards. I like these blue cards as well, but I don't want to stretch too far, especially when I'm trying to cast an Obzadot. And I also decided that because I do have a low curve until I get to like 5 and 7 drops, so these will help me race into them as well. So I think running the Clue Stones to help me ramp is probably good too. I only have 14 creatures. I have a little bit of removal, and I didn't have a lot of multicolored for Maze Abomination. Maybe playing a Tower Drake or something would be better than like a Selesnya Sentry. But it's a lot harder to cast, and I don't want to get too deep in my mana, so that's what we're going to run, and we'll go to round 1, and hopefully we did an okay job on this one.